been a rough week for the Jacksonville Jaguars. First, though, it's a great week for giving. You better come hang out with us tomorrow because we're teaming up with Air Team Heating and Cooling to help out the DePelchin Children's Center. Now through Friday, you can drop off donations at Air Team to support our Houston youth in foster care. We're going to be broadcasting there live all day. Guess no Jeremy Branham. So stop by to say hello with your donation. The most needed items and donation info are at airteamltd.com. It's the holiday drive benefiting DePelchin Children's Center, brought to you by Air Team, your H-Town heating and cooling team. Rough week for the Jaguars, and not just because Trevor Lawrence sprained his ankle. The Jaguars got robbed. They got robbed by a team executive. According to The Athletic, former front office employee Amit Patel allegedly embezzled from the Jaguars by, quote, exploiting the organization's virtual credit card program. Patel allegedly used the money to buy 2 vehicles, a condo, and a designer watch, among other things. He also allegedly purchased cryptocurrency, placed bets with online gambling sites, and chartered personal jets. Now, some at our station, like Patrick Creighton of Late Hits, have offered death penalty as a solution to this problem. Personally, I don't think I'd go that far. I kind of like that this person stole from the Jaguars. I kind of like it. I think the Jaguars have been cruising for a bruising, and I feel like this guy was like, you know what? I don't even know what a virtual credit card program is, but he saw that virtual credit card program, and he's like, screw it, why not?
Yeah, I thought when you said virtual credit card, my brain went to cryptocurrency, and I was like, no, it's probably not cryptocurrency. Like they had like JagCoin or something that he was able to embezzle or defraud. But nope, it's just, I don't know. It seems like just pretty standard corporate embezzlement.
It's white collar crime. Happens all the time.
Hashtag death penalty.
I just hope he dotted his I's and crossed his T's and got this into an offshore account. That's all I'm hoping for, because he's going to see serious time. But I hope that he got this into the offshore account. I just want the Jaguars to never get this back. Is that wrong? Is that bad? Like, oh, it's $22 million. They're not going to really miss it that much. They're fine. They're an NFL team. It's constantly appreciating in value. Am I essentially being, I don't know, like every single woke progressive online who's saying it's fine to steal from the rich? Yes, but it's entirely because it's the Jacksonville Jaguars and their fans are being massive you-know-whats to me over the course of the past 2 weeks. So suck it. Your poor-ass franchise is $22 million more poor. May as well move to London. You bitches.
Eat the rich. Also, the $22 million, like when you put it in NFL terms, you're like, wow, that's probably as much as like Tyreek Hill makes. You know, like that's
yeah,
like,
it's not that much.
It's like a top of the end wide receiver. It's like they can either have Devontae Adams or this guy steal money from them.
Well, speaking of stealing money, the best part of this story is legitimately the responses to it, because it doesn't say who the Jaguars team employee is.
Oh,
and then it just becomes Urban Meyer, Blake Bortles, Laviska Shenault. I'm sure who is the guy that they drafted a couple of years ago? Travon Walker. Like, the Jaguars have had a pretty brutal history as far as like first round draft picks, especially Justin Blackmon. Like, they have just sucked at picking players. And you could argue that they have been getting robbed blind like every single year by their own doings. So why are they mad about this person stealing $22 million? They're the ones who are throwing their money away all willy-nilly. Maybe this will get them to pay attention a little bit closer.
The funniest thing about the Jags in like the early to mid 2010s is that they would always have like a top 5, top 3 pick. And then they would pick someone bad.
Yep.
And then they would have a ton of cap space every year because they didn't re-sign any of their draft picks.
Correct.
To big money deals because all the draft picks are so bad. So they just kept having like a ton of free agent money to spend. And it was a vicious cycle of spending a lot of money on veterans that just took the bag from Jacksonville and then drafting guys like Blake Bortles.
Well, let's just go through it all. all the busts that they have drafted early on in the draft. Reggie Williams, a wide receiver. That's 04. Matt Jones. Remember cocaine Matt Jones from Arkansas? That was a 21st overall pick. Going further up the list, Derek Harvey from Florida. 8 career sacks. That was the 8th overall pick. More players. Eugene Monroe, a tackle. He started... did he start 6 games in his career? Jeez. That's not good. Tyson Alualu, a defensive tackle, 10th overall pick. Blaine Gabbert, 10th overall pick. Luke Jokel, 2nd overall pick. Blake Bortles. And then, of course, they had some good players. Dante Fowler, no longer there. Jalen Ramsey, no longer there. Leonard Fournette, no longer there. Taven Bryan in 2018. The list goes on, and that's the best part about this is everyone replying and just saying, like, what about this Jags player? What about that Jags player? I love it. It made me happy.
Yeah, and you wonder if, because they had $22 million stolen from them, is that why Trevor Lawrence had to hobble his ass off the field instead of getting a cart?
I'm glad you brought that up. Honestly, I'm not a Trevor Lawrence guy, but this is the most relatable that Trevor Lawrence has ever been. Here is Trevor Lawrence, who I guess had the option to take a cart and didn't take the cart, explaining why he didn't take the cart.
We talked about getting a cart, and I was going to get a cart, and then I'm standing there, and, I'm already on the sideline at that point. The tunnel's right there. I just wanted to get off the field, get out of there. I didn't know what was going on with my ankle, and I felt like I could get off. And I was like, hey, you're good. Just don't bring it out. I'm going in. And then once I got in there, I'm like, this is a pretty long walk, But I was already there, and they asked again if I wanted a cart. I'm like, no, we're going to make it the whole way there. I didn't know there was cameras in the tunnel, So that's kind of, they're everywhere. Exactly. So, but no, of course we have carts and we have everything we need, and I was the one that didn't choose to take one, so you guys put that on me. Maybe that was dumb. Maybe I should have taken one, whatever. But it's nothing to do with us not having a cart available. I don't think that would happen in the National Football League, especially here with the crew that we have. So, yeah.
Sean, I don't know about you, but I think this is very relatable. I think it's, one, you don't want to look like a bitch. Did anyone see that montage of all the big hits Tom Brady's taken over the course of his career? Oh, it was against plumbers. Shut up. All the big hits that he took over the course of his career. Like, if you're a quarterback, you never want to look like you're injured. You don't. Like, it's just in the back of your mind at all times. But as a man, too, it's the same thing. Like, you stub your toe. Like, you want to walk it off and act like you're not about to cry. Or if you step on a Lego or something like that, all the fathers out there, shout out to you. Like, there are lots of moments that we as men go through in life where we pretend that we're not hurting, and then we're like, oh yeah, I'll just walk it off. And you might have like broken a leg, like falling through a chair while drunk or something like that, or broken a wrist, or hurt your elbow, like accidentally trying to take a shortcut through Syracuse's campus because there was a lot of snow. You climbed into a construction area and then you fell off a 4-foot fence. Has this ever happened to you? Yes, it happened to me. And I had an elbow issue for a while and I never got to take looked at. Like, this is very relatable by Trevor Lawrence. He's like, well, I'm not going to take the cart. And then all of a sudden he realized, oh, wait, this is a really long walk. I wish I'd taken the cart, but I don't want to look like a bitch. I'm going to keep walking.
Yes, the most relatable part to me is, being like, I just want to get off the field as quickly as humanly possible without the cart being involved. And I can see the tunnel, and that's a short walk. Not like putting it together that like, well, once you get to the tunnel, then you have to go from the tunnel to wherever you have to go.
And it's
like,
a while.
That's what gets me. It's like, oh, it's only a 5-minute walk to X. And it's like, but then you will have to walk like 10 more minutes.
You know that video that we've played multiple times before of John Henderson? If you've never seen it, look it up. John Henderson's this Jaguars defensive lineman, and he's asking for a trainer to basically like punch him in the face before he goes out there, before he starts like an absolute crazy person talking to himself on his way out. He's walking for about a minute. And that's before he probably even got to the bowels of the stadium where he has to walk around and then get to the tunnel. And we're talking about the same stadium here. So a very relatable moment for Trevor Lawrence right there. But not a good week for the Jaguars. He did not practice yesterday. And their backup quarterback, who did all right, I guess, in relief of Lawrence, CJ Beathard, he was limited in practice with a left shoulder injury. And also, Jake Browning is the AFC Offensive Player of the Week who went up against the Jaguars. So, tough time to be a Jaguar fan. Only one game up on the Houston Texans in the AFC South. All the Jaguar fans out there. You scared? Probably. Because like, it's inevitable. History is inevitable with your team. Now, the Patriots aren't in the playoffs this year to end your season, which is a bummer to me because that was always fun. Like 96, 2007, 2017. But, hey, Just watch your back. Watch your back.